What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about MSTR today. Strategy, microstrategy, whatever you want to call it, man. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, all right? It is the 8th day of May. We're up about 7.2% today. I didn't make a video yesterday. I don't know why. I just didn't have time. I would have. I wanted to, and it would have been bullish. You know, definitely everything else was bullish, so this definitely would have been bullish too. But here you are bouncing off of your overbought zone to the upside. That's phenomenal, right? We've done something similar to this before, and what that brought was nothing shy of fantastic growth over the coming days, right? I mean, literally from the time that you bounced off of it, which would have been here, would have been this day here, to the high that you had. That was a 65% growth over the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, over the next week, 65. So I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen now. Maybe we grow more. Maybe we see less growth, but I highly doubt that what we see is some kind of move that does this and then we consolidate for months, right? I don't think we're anywhere near the end of this move. In fact, if we are going to compare what we're doing here to anything back here, we should compare it to the very beginning of being overbought, right? This right here is akin, where we are now in the grand scope of this whole move is very akin to this scope of a whole move being being right about here. Okay, first moments being overbought, first moments being overbought. We're in that same kind of zone now where we've got more than double what we've already done so far left in this move. I very much believe. Hold up now. I got some. Let me see. Oh, okay. Gotta plug that in. Gotta keep the camera alive. Hold on now. I very much believe, you guys, that we will see targets that are at new all-time highs, at fantastically higher prices than this, even 3 times higher than the current price over the next month and a half. That's the expectation. By the end of June, if not very early July, MicroStrategy, Strategy, MSTR will be priced in at about $1,300 or more, $1,300 to $1,700. That's my expectation, if not higher than that. We could go to $2,000. I doubt it, but it could happen. You never know. You know, and a lot of this is derived from, well, from a few things. From the fibs, right? From a high to a low here. If we take this high to low, you can see that your 1886 to 200 area right here is right there between 1300 and 1153. What's that mean? What's the 1886 to 200? Why is that even significant? What about all the other lines? Aren't they all significant? They're all significant. You know, we could stop here. We could stop somewhere around here. They're also, we could stop higher or lower. They're all significant, and probably we stop along the way, right? We find some turbulence here and there and get on our path before we start to correct more. And it's not going to be like a straight shot all the way up here. But in accordance to what I'm expecting out of MSTR to do, beyond just the fibs, these fibs are the ones that line up the most with the area that I would expect. And even so, I would even take it a step further and say this area here, with the 2272, it's more of an area. You don't oftentimes find resistance right at that line. You'll find resistance just above it most of the time, if not sometimes just below it, but most of the time it is just above. So that's where that $1,700 target comes from, just above it. It could be even a little bit higher than that. But my expectation would be that we go somewhere in this zone. And it's not just because of the fibs. It's not just because I want to see MSTR above $1,000. It's not because I think it's going to go to 1,600 or it makes a good clickbaity title. That's not why, right? You got the fibs there. We got our box there, okay? Let's move our box, our victory box over here. It's a very glorious box. We're going to put our victory box there, and then we'll put the victory hole right there, right? Can't use the word glory. It would change the context. This is victory. We're going to be celebrating, okay? If we take this high to low here, what did we do last time, right? High to low right here. We went all the way up just above the 2272, right? Just above it. Same kind of context here. If we were to go just above the 2272, right in the victory box, right there. Right in the victory box. Ain't no time for anything else. High to low, that's what it did last time, okay? If we take this high to low right here, high to low here, before we had a real consolidation phase, I mean, you moved up to the 1272, consolidate a little bit, 1618, but you didn't really consolidate until you hit your 2618, right? Really, really high up there. Maybe that's not enough. Maybe you're like, I don't care about the fibs, man. That doesn't, who cares? Okay, fine. Let's do something that's a little bit more simple then. Let's do something that's a little bit more simple. MSTR, at least its last 2 moves, are pretty similar and well-defined, right? Very large consolidation phase here, moved up. Very large consolidation here. I would expect that we move up similar to this, right? That's my expectation. From a high or a low to a high here, that's a 355% move. From a low, not the low of this low over here, right? I didn't take the low overall. I just took the majority of the move. This low here, that's like the beginning of this move to the end of the move here. 355%, 377%. Can we at least agree that there's some kind of average there? Might it be probably right there in the middle, 366 actually? That would be the average, right? 366%. I don't know if that would be the average, but I'm just assuming. I mean, that's right there in the middle. So let's take that. Let's assume that our move started here. Again, we're not taking this low, although the lows are the exact same. So low here, starting the move, 366%, you guys, would take us right there. Right, just a little bit higher, but right there in our victory box, right there to $1,100, right? Now here's a step further that I'm going to take. If you're looking at this cycle all the way through, you'll notice that we've got some big moves here, some bigger moves overall here, bigger moves and bigger moves and bigger moves. It gets bigger as time goes on. I don't think that we're going to see an average of these two moves. I think we're going to see something that's larger than either of those moves. Not together, but just overall individually, right? 377 was the last one. What if we go to 380? 383. That's $1,140 right there in the victory box, right there in the victory hole. If we go a little bit higher than that, even 400%, we're going to see 1,200%. You know what I mean? Like it's just in correspondence to what we've done so far. It only makes sense. It really only makes sense that we would consider prices that are above $1,000 as a suitable target for where MSTR is going to go over the coming weeks and over the coming months. I very much do expect that by the end of June, if not early July, we will see prices that are somewhere between $1,300 to $1,700. I think this next move here that we're going through is going to be the biggest move of the cycle so far. MSTR, all of these moves happened before Michael Saylor met with Donald Trump in the first ever crypto, what was it? The crypto meetup at the White House. I forget what it was. The crypto something, the crypto dinner. That was before MSTR. That was before Michael Saylor, was talking to Donnie T about crypto, or before Donnie T was talking to anybody about crypto, right? That was before the United States became, at least publicly said that its goal, at least with the new administration, that its goal is to be the crypto center of the world, right? We're in a different environment now, and it's far more bullish than it ever has been this whole entire cycle. There's no doubt in my mind that this will be the strongest move so far. The question is how much stronger. Is it going to stop at 1,200? Are we going to stop at 1,700? Anything and everything in between, I think, is fair game. So not financial advice, not a financial advisor. That's just my thoughts there. There's one last thing that I want to talk about that certifies or validates this area, right? We've gone over the fibs. We've used the fibs compared to what we've done this cycle already. We've compared the prices, the price action, and all of it coincidentally, maybe not so coincidentally, points to our victory box, right? Right there in the victory box. If we're looking at MSTR and we're comparing it to Bitcoin, okay? We compare MicroStrategy to Bitcoin here. We take this and we look at this chart here, right? This is MSTR. This is MSTR priced in US dollars. This is priced in Bitcoin. So it's a slightly different chart, right? I believe, hold on, wait a second. What? Okay, hold on. I just got a scam call or a scam text. That's hilarious. Your Coinbase request was received. If not you, call this number to cancel it. Yeah. No, it's not me. They ain't got that. That had me scared for a second. I'm like, wait, let me just hold on, guys. I am in the middle of making a video right now, but I need to just make sure. But if you ever get a text like that, guys, they're scamming you. That text is not from Coinbase. You know what I mean? Let's see. Yeah. Account's fine, not locked, everything's growing. We're on the up and up today. Yeah, no, ain't no scammers there. The only one scamming is the person that's trying to, and be careful of that, guys. If you ever get a text, and if you ever do talk to somebody, even if they are from Coinbase, they have your information. They shouldn't ask you for certain information, right? Don't be giving out, even if you think you're talking to the right people, be very hesitant of any kind of sensitive information could be giving out. What's sensitive information? Any information that could be used to access your account. Any of it at all, right? Just be careful. But that just happened. That's funny. My heart dropped a little bit. I'm like, am I being hacked? But that happens every time. I'm like, oh no. Logic steps in, rationality steps in. Nope, but they're trying. Anyways, let's get back to work here, okay? What we're doing right now, we got a little U. We got a little U here. It's a nice little shoe. We got this little high heel pattern going on, right? With a funky looking foot, I guess. But this is an Adam and Eve double bottom is what this is. I think that this Adam and Eve is going to take us right up to here. Whenever we break out MSTR versus Bitcoin, it's going to take us right up to here. That right there is 1% of a Bitcoin. 1%. My assumption is that Bitcoin will top off somewhere around $160,000 to $180,000 by the end of this rally. I also assume that MSTR, like it's done this whole cycle, will top off before or after Bitcoin. It's not going to top off at the same time. So my assumption then would be that if Bitcoin tops off at 160 to 180,000, that MSTR probably tops off below that, right? But below, whether it's after Bitcoin tops off or before Bitcoin tops off, because you never know what you're going to get with MSTR. Definitely not at 160K, or maybe at the most 160K, right? But that would put, if MSTR versus Bitcoin is at 1%, one MSTR stock is worth 1% of a BTC. If Bitcoin is worth, hold on, I'm getting another one. Man. They're really trying here. That's hilarious. We're gonna check again. Yeah, ain't nobody. And it's from a different number. That's how you know. It always sends from the same number if it is Coinbase. If it's different numbers, it's not Coinbase. They're just they're getting me though, man. I'm getting distracted. All I'm trying to say, if it's at 1%, either that, guys, or I'm gonna be broke here in a second. But 1% of a Bitcoin right now, that would mean that if BTC was worth 160K, MicroStrategy would be worth $1,600. 1% of 160K is $1,600. So that lines up in our victory box as well, $1,600 to $1,700. If MSTR tops off before Bitcoin and Bitcoin is at 150 or 140, 130K, that lines up with all these areas in this zone too. So all these things, coincidentally, not coincidentally, lining up. There's no doubt in my mind that we're going to move higher. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you liked the video. If you do, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. We're on a path higher. I'm going to go make sure I didn't just lose my life savings. All right, bye-bye.